All right, we are back here on the podcast talking some Giants football here after another disappointing season. We have a coaching change, could still have a GM change. You have an exciting rookie quarterback. Joining me today to talk all things Giants, the great Jerry Foley, great friend of the podcast, one of the co-hosts of the Giant Insider podcast. Jerry, welcome back. How are you?
Good, Mike. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. It's been a very disappointing New York football season here. I mean, we didn't have high hopes based on the schedule going into the year, but are you surprised by what we've gotten?
Well, it's before the season started, no. But we were once 2-4, and we had just beaten the Eagles, and we were up 19-0 to the Broncos. So from that point, yeah, I'm stunned. But once we lost to the Broncos, I just felt like the way we lost, it almost felt like 2009, where the Giants only had to win 2010 rather, where the Giants only had to win 2 more games to still win the division. They got smoked by the Packers. They ended up winning the final week against the Redskins at the time, but they missed the playoffs. It just felt like you can't lose games like the Bronco game and recover from it. So nothing really surprised me after that. It just felt like, you know what, the wheels are going to come off now, and they did.
Yeah, they definitely did. And Brian Daboll fired a few weeks ago. Not shocking at all because the way this team was playing was that they had basically given up on him. Like, what's your reaction to the decision to let him go in season?
It's not surprising. I mean, you can't keep losing games like that. Now, of course, yesterday, they lost the game in a similar fashion. They had a lead in the fourth quarter and lost, and you just knew it was coming. So I just think these players have let everyone down. Like, Shane Bowen is not a good defensive coordinator, okay? He's going to be gone. Whether it's sometime this year or next year, he's out. But the players on this team are lacking in so many areas. Like, Chris and I talked about on the podcast yesterday, how many plays can you not make as a cornerback when you actually have the coverage? So, I'm getting away from the subject of Daboll, but Daboll couldn't keep losing. I mean, it was 6-24 over his last 30. Like, something's got to give, Brian, and it's you. And I'm not surprised he's gone. They'll probably make more changes, but no, I wasn't surprised by. I guess I was surprised that they did it mid-season because usually the Giants don't do that. But if he was going to go, I thought it would have been after the Denver game, but they waited. So.
Yeah, there were definitely rumors about that flying around in social media lately, about the Giants possibly doing it after Denver deciding not to. It might have been the right spot to do it to save the season, but there's also rumors flying around about Shane Bowen, too. And we've heard that they thought about firing at the same time they decided to let Mike Kafka make the call on staffing here. Like, do you think Shane Bowen survives the season? Do you think he's another one who could be let go some point soon?
I thought it would have been today. I think he still will. Look, they're not going to beat Detroit. So could it happen next week? Yeah, but if it doesn't happen next week, then there's 5 games left. Like, what's the point of not that they're trying to salvage anything, but you at least want to see what else you have on this defensive staff. Like, if Kafka wants a shot at this, and it's a slim shot, he's got to get wins. And one of those ways might be to get rid of a defensive coordinator who doesn't bring that much to the table. They can't stop the run. They're not good against the pass. Points-wise, they're at the bottom of the league in almost everything, and they're supposed to have a good pass rush. So nothing Shane Bowen has done has been good for this team over the last 2 years. So if I'm Kafka, now I thought Shane Bowen would have been Brian Daboll's last bullet in the chamber. But it may end up being Kafka's because Kafka still is coaching for, not only this job, but future jobs as well. So I give it a more than 50% chance that Bowen doesn't survive the season.
Yeah, I think that would work against Bowen is that, the Giants haven't their bye yet, and it's coming after that New England game. So, if the Giants' defense doesn't shape up for these next 2 weeks, I can see Kafka saying, okay, I got a month left. Let me just give somebody else a look in the role.
Yeah, right, and that could be the week to do it, the bye week. It's a good point. Like, maybe it happens that week. So it's just, it's frustrating because there were at least high hopes for the defense. I mean, we were talking, and I overshot how this defense would have performed. I thought they would have been, top 10 in pass rush and, overall top 15 defense, and I was badly mistaken.
Yeah. That's something here. One thing I think a notable thing come out of the Packer game on Sunday was the benching of Abdul Carter the first series. It's come out since that he missed a walkthrough, which was the reason why he got benched for that start of the game here. He's disputed reports that he was asleep in the facility. He's claimed he was getting treatment. But what do you think about this whole situation with Abdul Carter? Because it's definitely got very strange energy around it.
As a fan, it's very frustrating, right? I wanted Abdul Carter 3 overall. So when you hear these stories, I believe, look, I believe the guy I work with who covers the team, Chris, right? Yeah. This came out from another reporter who said that he's been sleeping. Abdul Carter, kind of rejected that and said it's still his fault that he missed, but he was not sleeping. He was recovering. Look, when Abdul Carter has played, he hasn't lived up to a number 3 overall pick. Now, you don't give up on him, but yesterday we saw him. He pinched how many times, and he didn't contain the edge. He got one, I think, quarterback hit, or one pressure, rather. He had one tackle. And Bowen, there's been games where Bowen hasn't played him like even 60% of the snaps because of Thibodeau and Burns. But it's not like Abdul Carter, when he's in there, is blowing it up. So that's the frustrating part. But it's just another thing with this team that it never seems to end. That with the Giants, they make as much news now off the field, it seems, as they do on. Like, things like that are just, Tay Banks, to give you an example, Tay Banks a couple of weeks ago, escaping the media with his pants and his ankles. Like, what are we doing? Where are we finding guys like that, right? And again, Abdul Carter's a little different. I wanted him. He was a consensus top player in this draft. But I almost feel like if he's on another team, he's got 5 or 6 sacks by now. I don't know what it is with the Giants where it's just not working out. And when you hear a story like that, it's just so disheartening. You just hope that when the next regime comes in here, they can harness him and get the most out of him, because I still think he's a hell of a player. We got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I think one thing I've noticed with the Giants, and I know we'll get to Joe Schoen in a minute in terms of why he still has a job and if he actually will still have a job at the end of the year. I think one thing that definitely, whether it's Kafka or whether the next regime comes in, I think accountability as a whole seems to have been missing with the Giant building for a few years now. I feel like stuff like this, we've heard that rumors that Carter was been constantly late to meetings. We've heard we've seen guys like Deonte Banks and Jalen Hyatt get endless chances by not performing. The lack of accountability, I feel definitely is a culture kind of problem they need to fix if they want to get back to respectability.
And I didn't hear that until today about Abdul Carter, right? So that's what's frustrating as well. Was that really going on? And if so, you've got to instill discipline. And Jalen Hyatt, how many chances can a guy get to perform? And then yesterday, you see what he does. He doesn't complete the route, and the result is an interception. Now, it probably wasn't the best throw, but Jalen Hyatt, even on the deep ball, all right. Jameis Winston probably should have thrown that deep ball, but you see Hyatt hesitate. Just keep running the route. These draft picks from Joe Schoen, so many of them have missed that, like you said, what's going to happen with him? Are they really going to keep Joe Schoen? And I don't care what anyone says. I will go to my grave saying this, that if Mike Kafka needs to win as much for himself as he does for Joe Schoen. Because if you go 1-6 down the stretch, he's already got one loss, right? There's 6 games left. If you win one of these next 6 games, it tells you that the coaching didn't matter. It's the talent on the team. But if Mike Kafka can somehow win 3 or 4 games, then, well, you know what? Maybe it was a coaching problem. Now you have a new coach who can get the best out of these guys. So, listen, I will continue to say this. Joe Schoen needs Mike Kafka to win these games, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that here. And in terms of the whole organization here, it just feels like there's things that are obvious calls for us sitting on the couch that they seem to miss on, like the Graham Gano saga, whether it's he's constantly injuring himself, but they don't bring protection along in case he hurts himself on game day. Whether these carrying guys who have not performed, like Deonte Banks and Evan Neal, who are not playing and taking up roster spots, these are easily fixable mistakes they seem to keep making.
Yeah, that's what's frustrating, because like you said, you're sitting on your couch watching this and you're thinking, man, how did I not see this, right? And I understand giving a guy a chance and not giving up on him right away. Like this narrative around Carter now, I want it to go away. I want Carter to come out next week, get a sack, play well, so everyone can just stop talking about this kid. But Jalen Hyatt, it's your third year. I mean, Deontay Banks, you're terrible at playing cornerback. It's your third year. I keep saying, man, that 2023 draft is looking as bad as the 2021 draft for the Giants. Like, and John Michael Schmitz is actually playing better now. So he's kind of saving it. But then you have Eric Gray, Javarius Owens, I think Trey Hawkins, like Joe Schoen. I mean, between the 22 and 23 draft, I mean, what do you got? You got Micah McFadden, Wan'Dale Robinson is okay, Cordell Flott, Thibodeau, Bellinger, but no one jumps out at you like, wow, what an impact player. He had 2 full drafts and really no impact until he took Malik Neighbors, who's now, of course, hurt. So,
and that was with one draft with 2 top 10 picks in it, which makes it even worse.
Well, and that's the thing. The 2021 draft was so hurtful to this team from Gettleman because not only did he pass on Micah Parsons or Rashawn Slater, he traded down, took Kadarius Toney, and then used that next pick that he got from the Bears to draft, and the Giants Shane drafted Evan Neal. So instead of getting Micah Parsons or Rashawn Slater, we have Kadarius Toney and Evan Neal. I mean, you can't do that worse than the way they did it.
Yeah, that's certainly a bad spot here. And the thing that I did not understand, like when I saw the Daboll fire, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like he did not perform well since the beginning, and middle of his first year, and not been good. So that's something I'll say, okay, I buy that. The fact Joe Schoen is still here, leading the coaching search, and the fact that we've heard rumors that like he may be reevaluated at the end of the season here. Like if you're being reevaluated at the end of the season, why are we dragging this out? Why did they not just do a clean sweep now?
I don't know when the good time to do it is. You have all your scouts on the road. John Mara is sick, right? He's fighting cancer. Like, I don't know when the right time to do it is, but I agree with you. Like, if they go 1-6 down the stretch, and you keep Joe Schoen, and you're going to say, okay, now the one thing Joe Schoen has done well is gotten the cap in good shape. Okay, you can't take that away from him. The Brian Burns trade was a good one, but there's so much that he's missed on. And we don't have to rehash every move, but I agree. Like, if he don't play well and they keep showing what they are, even though you drafted Jaxson Dart, whether that was Daboll's, yours, whoever, you get the credit for it. Like, how are you going to keep him? So I'm with you on that. Like, there's no way he can survive if they continue to play the way they do, and they end up with a top 2, 3, 4 pick. And I don't want Joe Schoen making that pick, even though the last 2 I agree with, Malik Neighbors and Abdul Carter. But I don't want him making the next one because, well, I'll get into it another time with that one. But, what they should do with that draft. But anyway.
Yeah, that's a different discussion. We'll see where they land up here. But
yeah.
I think the thing you worry about here is, like, I understand that Mara is not doing well health-wise. It's a very tough ask for him to have to lead a coach and a GM search at the same time. But, like, this might be a situation where, like, if the results are as bad as they are, I know it's not a popular option, but, like, there are these things called search firms, or, like, you could, like, find an advisor. I'm sure, like, if they picked up the phone, Bill Parcells definitely answer his call and offer advice.
Oh, I mean, listen, if I'm the Mara family and the Tisch family, I'm heavily involved in this and looking at all avenues to bring someone in. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think what I don't want to see is just the same people making decisions. Let's look at this a different way, because you're now going to be three GMs since Jerry Reese, right? Jerry Reese, Gettleman, Shane, 4 head coaches, McAdoo, Shermer, Judge, Daboll, now Kafka, right? You're going to be on your 5th. It's just, you have to start looking at things maybe a little differently, because what you've done over the last 10, 12 years just has not worked.
Yeah, I think my big concern would be just the whole, like, okay, like, if for some reason Mara is allowed to Shane's allowed to make this hire, that you again are going down the Titan road of we have the coach, the GM, and the quarterback all on different timelines, and just alternating firing the parties doesn't seem to work very well for Tennessee.
Right, and if you keep Shane, you're going to have to extend him. What are you going to extend him? 1 year, so he has 2 years left? What if the coach But then your coach is 2 years, because even if you sign a coach to a 4 or 5 year deal, but you get rid of the GM, you can't get rid of the GM and bring one in and keep the head coach. I mean, the Jets showed you that doesn't work. So to me, it's just, they're just kind of, I think they're delaying the inevitable, but we'll see what happens.
You'll see.
I mean, maybe Kafka rattles off 4 or 5 wins and problem solved, but it's like a 0.1% chance of that happening.
Yeah, I would agree with that here. And one thing I think the Giant fans do have to look forward to here is seeing Jaxson Dart come back, because like he's giving you hope that we have a quarterback, and like he's probably the one reason why this job is not completely radioactive at this point. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, they have a quarterback. I can go work with this." So, what do you think about what we've got from Jaxson Dart so far?
I would say it's that. It's a high draft pick, and it's a healthy cap. I think in that order. And maybe Dart, the cap, and then the high draft pick.
Yeah.
So, and look, you do have supportive ownership. I mean, look what ownership puts up with. So, from that standpoint, like if I'm looking for a job, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have about 4 years to pull this off. So, yeah, okay, I'm in. So as long as you show some life, you can get this done. But yeah, I think it's an attractive job, and I think Jaxson Dart is reason number one.
Yeah, like what have you seen specifically out of Dart that like makes you feel like, oh, like this is definitely the guy? 'Cause I mean, like he definitely has like his moments where like you wonder, oh, why did he do that? Or I wish he would stop taking unnecessary hits. But like the energy he brings seems to like be very infectious when he's on the field.
It's not only that. What I keep talking about, what impresses me is his pocket awareness. He feels the rush without staring at it. And that was Daniel Jones' biggest problem. Jones could not navigate the pocket. A guy coming at him, he couldn't move out of the way. He would stare at him and then either panic or, just fling in. Like Jaxson Dart has not really thrown a pass. He's only thrown a couple where you think, oh my God, he's just throwing it up for grabs. Like he hasn't done that yet. He hasn't looked like a rookie to me. So for me, aside from the athletic ability and the vibe that he brings to the team, it is absolutely his ability within the pocket that I'm so impressed with.
Yeah, I think that is something very impressive here. Like, apart from Dart, like, what are Giant fans actually watching for down the stretch here, in your opinion?
I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else to watch, and that's sad because you have one of the better receivers in the league. You had a running back who was exciting. I mean, Tyrone Tracy's a good player, but like you're not watching the game for him. I mean, I literally think it is Dart and Dart alone as to why you're watching. I guess you can watch and see how many sacks, burns, tallies. I don't know. If Abdul Carter gets it together, he would be an exciting guy to watch. You'd watch the pass rush, but it's been 11 games. I mean, outside of Burns, nobody's doing anything. So I don't know how that's going to turn around. I mean, I really think it is Jaxson Dart or bust. So if he doesn't clear concussion protocol, I've never heard this as much as I've heard it lately, that Giant fans on Sunday afternoons are not only not going to the games, they're not watching at home now. They're like, I'm doing something else with my time because this team is not worth my time. And that's sad. That's the worst I've ever heard it in all my years of being a fan. Like, they need Jaxson Dart to be healthy because without him, there's really not much to watch this team for right now.
No, especially when you got like the holidays coming up, when you have like all these like winter activities, like there's no reason to watch the Giant football game unless you're like really like are a diehard of the team, unless you're seeing the quarterback play, because I feel like it's very hard sell otherwise with this roster.
Oh, I've heard people go pumpkin picking instead of watching the Giants right now. Like it's as bad as it's been. And the only thing, like if put it this way, if Jaxson Dart was not Jaxson Dart, if he just was a rookie who was okay and looked like he struggled, and you had Winston or Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, forget it. If it was just Jameis Winston or God forbid Daniel Jones from last year, no one's watching the Giants. I mean, it would be the lowest ratings of Giant fans watching their team in years. Because even last year, you started feeling that. Like, the Giants, Chris felt it at training camp. They're just not, these fans are not into it. They were into it this year. And Jaxson Dart really helped that. Malik Neighbors helped it. Cam Scatterbo helped it. But with those two guys out and Jaxson Dart not playing, it's rough right now, man.
Not an ideal time either to have 3 of your last 4 games at home. That's not great.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only thing is, they play Washington is going to be out of it. They play Dallas is going to be out of it. The Vikings have their own problems at quarterback. So that's at least one thing or a couple of things you can hang your hat on. So.
Yes, I look at that back four stretch here, the Commander, Viking home games, the trip to Vegas, and the Cowboys here. Like, I think if Kafka is going to save Shane Johnson, he'll be over that stretch by winning like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think, like, you play the Raiders, too. Like, I think, believe it or not, I think 4 wins can happen. As insane as that sounds, they can beat the Raiders. They can beat Washington. They can beat Dallas. They can beat the Vikings. They're not going to beat Detroit. And I really don't think they're going to beat the Patriots. So, honestly, they probably win 2 of those games because they'll still figure out a way to lose the other ones. But and will that be enough? I don't think it will be.
Yeah, I feel like,
and it shouldn't be. And if it isn't, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think I think you have to win all 4 of those games. You can say, okay, Shane was right that it is the coach's fault.
Yeah, I think I said it from the start. At first I said 5, then I kind of dialed it back. I said they got to go 4-3 down the stretch for not only Kafka to have a real shot at the job, but to save Shane. That's just me. Maybe they keep him. Maybe they go 0-7 and they end up keeping him. But in my opinion, I think you have to win 4 games to keep him. And I'm going to put it at wins. I'm not going to put it at very close games because all we've had are close games. We're 2-9. We probably should be 5-6, maybe 6-5. And Brian Daboll got fired. So if you don't win these games, that's the name of the game. You got to win these games. So if you don't win these games, changes have to happen.
Yeah, and last thing here is obviously it's very early here. We've heard some rumblings about coaching candidates here. Like we've heard names like we've heard Arthur Smith, we've heard Chris Shula, we've heard McCarthy. Like, is there a direction you would like to see them go looking for a coach? Like obviously it's a little early for name specific guys. Like what kind of coach are you hoping to find?
I want a CEO. I mean, if you ask me right now who I would prefer, I don't think he's going to shake loose, but Mike Tomlin would be number 1. I would love Mike Tomlin, even if you had to make a move to get him. I'm not saying trade this year's first-round pick, but if Mike Tomlin is somehow available in some capacity, you get it done because he would be a franchise changer. I want that type. I want a CEO type. Now, one of these coordinators could be that, but are we going to go down the coordinator route again? The last head coach was Shermer, but he was not a successful head coach. Mike McCarthy has been, but do I want Mike McCarthy? Not really. And I don't want Nagy. I heard Nagy, and I just thought, man, if to really just take the wind out of Giant fan sails is to keep Joe Schoen and hire Matt Nagy. That would be just, oh my God, talk about just a milquetoast type of hire. I mean, I'm okay with one of these coordinators, but at that point, I got to put the trust in the organization to make the right decision. So, Shane, Mara, Tish, whoever the new GM is, if there is one, they got to make that call. But if you're on the surface, I would say, do everything you can and exhaust every avenue regarding Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a smart play here. I think McCarthy, I like, because I know he's done well with young quarterbacks. Like he did well with obviously Rodgers in Green Bay. He did help Dak Prescott have great seasons. That's something to consider with Dart. And on the coordinator route here, I've also heard Steve Spagnuolo maybe coming back to the Giants. And he got an interview with the Jets last cycle, so you wonder if that's something that they would also think about.
I love Steve Spagnuolo, but this isn't the time to bring him in. Like, the Giants need to fix their franchise, and I don't know if bringing in Steve Spagnuolo, who was once an interim head coach here and did not do well, when he coached the Rams, is the guy to fix this. Now, Mike McCarthy, I realize it's unfair because he is a good regular season coach. It's just his postseason non-success that really scares me. Now, he did win a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin and him are kind of the same. It's just that Tomlin is he just seems like more of a motivator, a guy I would want to play for. So I realize I'm a little unfair with my criticism of McCarthy, but he's just not a guy that gets you excited. But could he, fix the team and get them 9 wins? Then probably, right? So I have to have a little more of an open mind there, but I love Spagnuolo. I like the memories of him being our defensive coordinator. I just don't think you bring in Spagnuolo and say, okay, fix it now. I don't know if it happens.
Yeah, they got 2 more names to wrap up with here. Baltimore also with John Harbaugh. If he shakes loose there, I think it's somebody you definitely want to give a phone call to.
Done. Let's do it. Let's figure it out.
I think the realistic one, considering they have two of the franchise he's currently tied to, if the Browns are stupid enough to let Stefanski go, the Giants should be all over that.
Absolutely. Yes, all over it. All over Stefanski, and I'm bringing in Cliff Kingsbury too. Yeah. So I want to interview him.
Yeah.
You want to. Everyone's going to be able to work with Jaxson Dart.
Yeah.
I think. But Jaxson Dart seems like a very, and Paul Schwartz said this. I can't take credit for it. Paul Schwartz was on a podcast on the Post the other day. He's like, Jaxson Dart's one of the most coachable kids he's been around. He's heard about. So I'm not as worried about that. So I just want to make sure, like, if I'm bringing someone in, it's all right, Mr. Offensive Coordinator, who's going to be my head coach. What is your defensive philosophy? Who are you hiring and why? You need to know defense as well as you know offense. You're the CEO. What do you want here? Are we going to be an aggressive defense? Are we going to be playing more zone? Man, what? What are we doing? Are your blitzes going to be exotic or are they going to be vanilla? I mean, that is so important that you cannot just be one side of the ball. You have to be an absolute CEO. So even if they bring in one of these hotshot coordinators, that's fine. But what is your philosophy on the other side of the ball? Because you've only been on one, and now Kafka's learning it, right? Kafka was offensive coordinator. Yeah, you got to work now. You got to worry about both sides and special teams. Oh, and game decisions like clock management and when to challenge, when not to challenge. So I would be an exhaustive interview process for me.
Yeah, I think for me the answer is Stefanski if he shakes loose because like he had the playoffs twice in 6 years of the Browns, and like if they are just foist Deshaun Watson, I think they probably are in a much better position.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And listen, the two guys you just named, John Harbaugh. Yeah, and it's funny. I almost consider him with Tomlin. Like, are you guys really gonna move on from these guys? Like, I'll take them tomorrow. They get 10 wins. They hire John Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin. They get 10 wins next year. I'll call it right now. 10 wins, easy.
Yeah, I think Stefanski gets them up there too. But Jerry, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. People want to keep up with you guys on social media and follow your podcast. How can I do that?
Yeah, so Twitter, or X as they say now, @GiantInsider. We're on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and then we have our YouTube channel, which is becoming more and more popular, Giant Insider on YouTube.
All right, Jerry, thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. Hopefully the Giants get this right.
Yeah, Mike, they better, man.